Hey, and good Tuesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel with the Weather Report here on your August the 5th, 2025. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day. I know some parts of the country a little wet, a little damp out there. Some parts of the country not looking bad with some heat and some, typical summertime weather here across the area. Again, appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Now, if you're coming in to this report after the fact, if you could please do me the honor, the pleasure, and consider subscribing to the channel. I like to be one of your weather sources out there. Our motto here is very simple. Be prepared, not scared, and not hype everything to death. There's enough of that out there in the YouTube universe as well as out there in social media in general. So my mission here is to keep you informed, so that you can make informed decisions, and I'll pretty much tell you when you need to worry about something being consequential as far as weather is related. So let's go ahead and get into this update now. Yesterday, we had a couple changes yesterday with where our highs and lows were. Our high was 114. That was over in Tulsa, Arizona, so we kind of shifted out of California there. And we shifted up to Wyoming for our morning low yesterday. It was Fox Park. That was up. It was at 28 degrees up there. So that was our two spots there. Look at our satellite picture here this morning. Got some storms down here along the Gulf Coast. This out here, that is Dexter, continuing to pull away from the coast there. Got some pretty decent thunderstorms up here across areas of North Dakota. We're going to show you that here in more detail in just a second. And that's continuing to move on off there. But that's about it here so far to start our morning. As we go ahead and take a look over at our surface map here, you can see we got this stationary front here down here across the southeast. That's continuing to kind of drape in, bringing the unsettled weather there. Still got this coolish weather here across the eastern seaboard. Things are definitely going to be heating up here in the plains. Central part of the country over the next several days are going to be seeing things begin to warm up and that heat start to build. Don't expect the excessive heat that we had last week. Nothing on that level, but it is definitely going to warm back up here a little bit. Also got another storm system here off the west coast here coming in here, a little unsettled weather here across the Pacific Northwest as well over the next day or so. All right, let's go talk about that severe weather. We got a little bit of action up here into North Dakota here this morning. Let's go ahead and pull that up here on Radar Omega here. As you can kind of see, we got one warning out here. This one just got issued here. We're looking at 60-mile-per-hour winds here. This is for northwestern Morton, southwestern Oliver, south central Mercer, northwestern Grant. Goes till 8:15 there. All right, these storms are moving northeast at 25, quarter-size hail with this. So we got some pretty decent thunderstorms here. Beulah, Washburn, Bismarck will probably get in on the action on this as well as we go in for this afternoon. And that's going to be one of our hot spots here. We'll break down where the severe weather is going to be over the next few days here. But looking at the current watches and warnings out there right now, we're going to continue to watch the southeast. We've still got the flash flood watches here across Georgia, portions of Alabama here. Red flag warnings out here, a little hot out here in the desert southwest. It's supposed to be hot. It's that time of year out there. But otherwise, that's all we got. We got tracking here for this morning. Now, let's go ahead and get into what we're going to be talking about. I want to do the tropics first. So let me get that up for you here first and get that ready here. Let's go check the update here. There we go. This is the latest from the National Hurricane Center here. We've got a couple of areas here. And we're going to get Aaron here probably pretty soon. This is a question of, is it going to be this one here? Off the southeast coast, or is it going to be this one out here into the Atlantic? I'm favoring this one here closer to the southeast coast, and that one could play a little bit of a part with the weather there along the Carolina coast. We're going to watch that closely. There's still some problems that are going on out in the Atlantic that's the reason why I'm not overly concerned about that. Well, let's check on Dexter first. As you can see, Dexter is continuing to kind of move on out to sea. Top sustained winds at 40 miles per hour, moving northeast at 20. Really not a factor here as that's kind of pulling away. But I was hoping Dexter would be a little more of a memorable storm, but it looks like it's not going to be, which is, that's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about, let's go look at our satellite imagery out here. And the story out here in the tropics continues to be the level of Saharan dust out there. And you can see that very well. You see that little tannish hue here to the clouds, even kind of intermixing down here where the waves are. Now, what the models are locking on is this decent wave here, and they're showing some sort of development, all right? Now, if it does in fact develop, if it can overcome the dust out there, a couple of different variables going on out there. And let me remind you folks, if you see anybody out there posting something on the tropical saying, beyond a 7-day window, showing, hey, look, we got a hurricane here, just ignore that crap. It is a bunch of bull because the models are, the further out in time, the greater the error is, it's like a set of dominoes. You know, the dominoes get further and further apart, and then eventually the domino's not going to fall, and everything after it is just a bunch of horse hooky. But what I'm looking for is looking for trends. So basically, the GFS is kind of doing this number where the European model wants to do this number. So if we get anything there to kind of form. So we got to watch. We'll see what happens. We got a little ways to watch it. We are, of course, in August. It's the 5th. Peak of the hurricane season, September 10th. So things will kind of get a little active, and we'll kind of see how that progresses here over the next few days. Right now, we got nothing officially out there, so that's why we don't have to worry about that. So looking at the model data here, let's go take a look at that. Again, this is the 7-day outlook of the European ensemble, and you can see why we're worried about that area. You got the lighting up very bright red there on the European model, insisting something is going to develop here. And then you got something off the southeast coast. And, of course, this is Dexter up here going away. Even here in the Gulf of Mexico showing up a little bit of stuff. So, again, just kind of getting indications that the tropics are waking up, starting to pop. Not unusual. This is getting toward the heart of the season. And, of course, we'll keep track of it here on the Weather Nerds channel and keep you updated on any significant changes there. Now, over on the Pacific side, we do have a couple of areas out there. We got Henrietta out there. That's out there, and this one might get close up to the Hawaiian Islands. We'll have to see on this. It's going to be generally moving in a westerly direction here, getting pretty close. This is looking very like we'll get a tropical system to form here. That one will be Ivo. That's an interesting name, Ivo. That's our next name storm out there in the Pacific. So we'll see how that one works out for us right now. Here's the satellite imagery. Got the infrared out here because it's still kind of dark out here a little bit. So here is Henrietta out here, and this is our cluster of storms that will probably form into our next tropical depression here in the eastern Pacific, which has been pretty active so far this season. All right, so let's look at Henrietta's track here. Here's Henrietta's track here again. Keeps it as a tropical storm, and it keeps it in a westerly faction. I mean, kick off some of the seas out here toward the Big Islands, north rim here as that comes to the north, but at least it's not a hurricane and shouldn't be too big of a problem there for those folks there. All right, let's go take a look at what we're expected as far as severe weather outlook is for today. Let me get that up for you here and get this going here. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. This is your day one outlook for today, and where we kind of got the active weather going on right now. That's where we're seeing the things taking place right now. So again, you're kind of looking up in this zone. I don't have the right one on there, do I? Let me see here. I think I got the wrong pen. So give me 1 second here. Let me grab the right one. I think it should be number 1 there. Let me double check this one. Nope, not that one. Hold on 1 second. What I'm going to do is I got to change my pen. This one's been giving me a little bit of fits lately, and I'm not sure why. So clear that out there. All right, there we go here. So let me go to studio mode. That'll probably help me out a little bit better. Let's go to studio mode. Studio mode. Don't you love when you're doing a live broadcast and something doesn't go the way it should? Oh, well. Not sure why that pin's not working right there. Should be working, but it's not. Let me move this up to the top. Maybe that's being the problem here. Let's try this one more time. I apologize for this. Oh, okay. I see the problem now. I bet it works now. There we go. Hey, got to layer it. Here you go. User error, folks. That's what you call that. User error. All right, so here we go. That's our hot spot there across North Dakota and South Dakota. That's our slight risk here for today. Let's break that down by the category. We do have some general thunderstorm threat here across the southeast, a little bit here in the northeast, but this obviously that's our hot spot. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I want to zoom in a little bit closer here, and we'll look at the categorical breakdown. Look at the tornado threat here for today. Again, running about 2%. So we're talking Bismarck, getting near Clark, DeSmet, Mitchell, Miller, Jamestown. These are the towns in across the Dakotas for today. Obviously, the wind threat will be the highest thing in here. We're talking 60 to 75 mile per hour winds with some of these storms in here. So obviously, Bismarck's in the crosshairs, and they have some severe weather kind of knocking on their front door right now this morning. And the hail threat also pretty much in the same exact spot here for today. Not seeing any hail too big of a problem anywhere else there across the nation. How about the next several days? Let's look at the day 2 outlook going in for tomorrow, going into Wednesday. Again, we got a marginal risk here across Minnesota, back to South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa. Would not shock me if that gets upgraded to a slight risk tomorrow. I'm just saying the way it's looking right now. And day 3, again, a big part of the country. Look at the general thunderstorm there. A lot of the country here with the general, scattered shower thunderstorm. But the highest risk for severe weather will be up here across Washington State, Idaho, back through Montana and through the Dakotas. That is going to be our northern tier. Got a pretty active branch of the jet stream right now. That's where those little disturbances are. So we got a new little warning that just kind of flashed up there in Nebraska real quick. Let's take a look at that real quick. Since we're kind of live here for a second, let's go ahead and take a look at that. And there's that new alert that just came out. Ooh, that's a nasty looking cell. Let's look at that real quick and kind of show you that cell. Let me go over to my radar Omega here. There we go. And there you go. There's that. So this is a cell just cat severe right now. This is for northeastern frontier and southeastern Lincoln, and it goes till 8:30. And the storm is moving northeast at 20. So nice little thunderstorm there near Gothenburg and Kozad there into Nebraska for this morning. All right. Let's go back over to the outlook here. So let's go back over to weather-wise here. We'll take a look at that. And we'll talk about the heavy rain threat now. Obviously, summertime thunderstorms. We had just a tremendous amount of flash flood warnings this year. It's been very, very busy to say the least across the country. So the area of concern is going to continue to be the southeast. Obviously, we had that flood watch across portions of Georgia and Alabama, but this is going to sneak into portions of the Carolinas as well. So we're talking Charlotte, down toward Augusta, Charleston, Greenville, parts of metro Atlanta, Macon, over toward Columbus. This area is where we're expecting the heaviest rains to fall for today. Day 2, this kind of moves up toward the mid-Atlantic a little bit, but kind of a marginal risk, so it's on a 5% chance. So we're talking isolated, spotty, heavy downpours there. And elsewhere across the country, up here across the high plains, again, this is going for tomorrow, Wednesday. Also looking up here as well, going to your day 2. And day 3, again, this is the southeast coast and up here across the high plains. Again, 5%, not too big a deal. I really start to focus when I see yellow. When I start seeing yellow and obviously red, that's when you kind of get a little worked up for that. To kind of keep an eye on that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the model. Let's get you through the short-term forecast first. So let's get you through that here for your planning purposes. Find your portion in the country, and let's go ahead and talk about this, shall we? Let's get this going here, as we got to get this all set up here. So what we're seeing right now is, again, we're looking at the weather here across the southeast here, kind of moving on very slowly with this rain threat down here to the southeast. A little cluster of storms here in the middle of the country here coming on down. The northeast is a little unsettled as well, as starting from today and kind of looping here on through. Again, you see the storm here coming up across the Pacific Northwest, so Washington State down toward Portland and Seattle looking a little wet there. Got this little disturbance kind of low spreading up in Canada, setting up these thunderstorms across the Great Plains. And then we'll get some more coming in here, looks like going into Thursday as well. So another too widespread. Northeast not looking bad. The south central plains are looking hot and steamy. West coast also looking pretty quiet here for today. Now, as far as where the rainfall is going to be, again, we got a little cluster of storms here kind of racing down this way. That's where we're seeing that heavier rain threat there in that zone. Obviously, the southeast and toward the Carolinas, a bit of a problem there as well. Let me take this all the way down to the end here and stop that. We'll go ahead and zoom in here on the southeast to kind of highlight some of these heavier rainfalls here across the Carolinas. You're looking at 6 inches plus. So anywhere you see the purple, you're kind of getting 3 to 4 inches there. So you get some heavy pockets here across Georgia, South Carolina, obviously seeing some pretty decent rains there from those storms. And then we got these storms up here in the plains that'll come on down. These two will also be gully washers, 4 inches plus. You see 2.5, 2 inches. Up here in the Dakotas, 6 inches plus. So again, these summertime thunderstorms, they can really dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So just be on the lookout for that here as these storms get fired up, especially going into the afternoon hours. All right. So let's go ahead and pull this out here a little bit and take a look here at the temperatures. Now, I got this looping right now. I want you to kind of pay attention to that purple, okay? You can really see it growing here as we go into our Thursday. So this is today. Obviously, we're going to see where it is today. But you clearly see that we're really building the heat here across a big portion of the country right through here. So we're going to be really kind of growing the heat in this portion. Not bad here along the East Coast here a little bit, either seasonal or a little bit below average because of clouds and rain. But the middle of the country is really where the heat's going to really be building on through here for the next few days here. And as we go till 2 o'clock on the afternoon on Thursday, just kind of get an idea. I mean, it's 103 there in Texas. You get 90s up here in the Dakotas and stuff up here into Montana. And later into this weekend, we're really going to start heat things up here across the Northeast as well. So you guys in the Northeast, you're not bad for like Thursday. You're still sitting in the 70s, but looks like some heat's going to be building your way here as we go into this upcoming weekend. All right, so let's look at the big overall pattern flow. We're looking at the European 500 millibar anomaly map. We kind of got this going on, looping here. You see the little storm systems here kind of rotating into the high plains and lifting on back into Canada. And here's another little disturbance. So one thing I'm noticing here is seeing a little more of a progressive pattern with the northern jet here a little bit. So these are going to continue to bring in these little disturbances rolling out of the Pacific Northwest, the high plains. That means as they roll on out, that's where your severe weather is going to continue to track. And you see another one here diving in behind this one. So, and then you also notice on the tail end of this run here, the European model is trying to show something coming into the Caribbean on the end of this run. Again, that is way long out. Again, I mentioned that earlier. We're looking at two little things, and you see that little disturbance down there. We'll have to watch and see if that will come to fruition or not as we get far out. But again, still looking at heat. Looks like for the most part, because of the amount of high pressure I'm seeing across the country, we're going to see temperatures generally trending above normal, but no big heat dome imminent for right now, although it will be a little bit hot there in the middle of the country. Here's a kind of loop here, the forecast models here over the next 7 days. You kind of, again, the southeast looks at something. Here's something the European is got. You see the European still wants to try to develop. Here's something trying to form in here. May get a tropical depression, may get Aaron with this here the next 7 days. That's that 40% that we're watching. So this means the Outer Banks, North Carolina could see a tropical influence there as this thing pulls away, but kind of a glancing blow. And even if something does form, I don't think it'll be too bad there. A very progressive, active pattern here across the northern tier, obviously, because of these quick moving systems that are moving across the northern branch. And northeast not looking too bad. The middle of the country continues to get these little thunderstorms day by day as they pull out of the Rockies. Southwest continues to be hot and dry. California, obviously Oregon looks hot and dry as well. All right, so the rainfall loops, obviously the heaviest rains, this is going out 7 days, but it kind of gives you the idea beyond what the 60 days showing where the best rain chances are going to fall here. The high plains out here into from Iowa, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and of course the southeast here predominantly over the next couple of days as this moves on out. Northeast not looking too bad, a little rain there. And a little bit of that monsoon moisture starting to come back here across the southwest, starting to work its way back up in here a little bit. I've been waiting on that to kind of kick back in. It's been a little bit on the drier side here recently, but I think the monsoon's going to start kicking in. I mentioned that yesterday. It looks like that's continuing to be the trend for right now. All right, let's talk about temperatures. Let's get you to this upcoming weekend. This is your snapshot here on your Friday afternoon. Again, the areas here, and look at these temperatures in Montana, 52. This is in the afternoon, man. 61, very, very hot, very below normal up this way. The heat building here in the plains, starting to get a little warm up here into the northeast as well. So let's go into your Saturday. Let's check out your Saturday temperatures here. Kind of going in about 2 o'clock here. Again, you see the heat here coming across Missouri, 94, Iowa, 91, 92 back in Illinois. So we're really building the heat up back up this way. But the high plains behind that front in the 70s, not bad in here. But it looks like things are going to warm up just a little bit, but unusually cool there across the Intermountain region going into this upcoming weekend. How about Sunday? Let's check out your Sunday forecast here, Sunday afternoon here. Again, look at the 90s starting to pop here in the northeast here, 93, 92. So you guys got to break up in the northeast. Just want to give you a heads up. Watch out for this weekend. Looks like Sunday things start to heat up. Even getting into Ohio, 93 degrees there, 92 there, and to Illinois, 95 in Missouri. And because we're getting near harvest time, we got that thing called corn sweat going on. Might see some heat advisories come back here as we go toward the Missouri, Illinois, down toward Arkansas as we go into this upcoming weekend. So again, not expecting that extreme heat, but it's going to be hot enough with that humidity that we might see the return of those heat advisories here in the middle of the country as we progress through this upcoming weekend. All right, let's look at finally at your climate outlook here for today. This is looking at your 6 to 10 day outlook here. And basically, it's kind of backing what we're talking about here as far as where the heat is. You notice it is lighting up very, very hot up here across the areas of up here toward the northeast. So you're definitely seeing some very hot weather up there as well. But most of the country here looking at above normal temperatures here for a lot of the nation. Let's go ahead and take a look at your, looking out a little bit further. This is going out from the 12th to the 18th, and we're going to continue that trend here with above normal temperatures here in the northeast. Even in the western areas start to warm up, although, you know, we were seeing the below normal temperatures there for this upcoming week. Looks like we warm up next week. So looks like a lot of the nation is going to be kind of heating up a little bit. And precipitation-wise, looking at your 6 to 10 day outlook here, we're going to be drier out here in the west, a little dry out here, and we're going to be a little bit wetter here in the eastern third of the United States. So that's, again, taking me out to the 14th. And, oops, sorry about that. And let's go take this out a little bit further, going out for the 8 to 14 day window here. This takes you out to the 18th. Most of the nation look like we're either pretty much near normal or a little wet here. This is kind of normal, so we'll go normal. It's an N, and we'll make that wet. Yeah, I know, pretty bad writing, right? Anyways, that's what we're looking at for right now. Again, that's your update here for your day. Let's see who we got over there talking to us right now. We got Edith over there. Hey, good morning, Edith. We got Patrick Axelrod out there. Rita's out there. Good morning, guys. Echo Post, good to see you guys out there. I appreciate everybody coming on here and checking us out for today. Again, I think I like this new format. Like it works. We're getting the same number of viewers that we typically get without me having to spend 2 hours of post-production. I got a lot of stuff going on here with my local channel and everything else. So I need to kind of maximize my time effort. I really like doing this live instead of playing Mr. Broadcast and kind of talking to y'all a little more conversationally and just keep you weather aware of what's going on out there. And I do appreciate you guys checking out y'all's update here for this morning. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow. You guys be good, stay safe, and be good out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and hopefully we won't be getting Aaron anytime real soon, but we'll keep a watchful eye on it. We'll talk to y'all later.